Hi there. Thanks for joining CPG Bytes, a series of short video segments from Treasure Data, where we chat about the latest news and industry trends and read between the lines to provide our perspective and insights. So David, my friend, what do you have for us this week?
Yeah, Stephen, how you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, I found this article in Adweek, and as a person that I try to purchase products that are ecologically friendly myself. So this article kind of spoke to me. But what amazed me was how the value, if you will, of eco-friendly products. It says right there in the headline in 2020 that even with the pandemic, the value of that revenue was 131 billion dollars, and you just don't you take a step back, you go, wow, that's pretty amazing that it's that big of a market. And what's even more interesting is that while that value is about a fifth, it's less than 20% of the overall market space. 55% of growth in the last few years in CPG has come from sustainable or eco-friendly products. So clearly this is an area that is driving, it's kind of the engine of growth within CPG. And I think the takeaways, the three takeaways I would have from this article, from this trend, is that companies that ignore this, and obviously people probably aren't ignoring it given the size of it, but companies that really haven't gotten their arms wrapped around this and taking it seriously, it's almost ignore it at your peril. And if you think back maybe 10 years ago, there was a similar situation in the food segment of CPG, where the notion of healthy and kind of pivoted from low fat and low salt to being things like locally grown and non-GMO and smaller number of ingredients. And some of the bigger food brands that sort of missed that trend and got caught flat-footed, they watched their sales decline and a lot of their share get eroded to some of the smaller, upstart, more nimble, agile brands. So, you don't want to see this repeat itself. The second takeaway is this just proves how important it is to know your consumer, right? Truly understanding the demand drivers of your consumers is critically important. Having that rich data set, that 360-degree view of your consumers is really important. So you know about these trends and can react to them and address them. And then the third takeaway, and this wasn't actually mentioned in the article, but something that I was thinking about, is that, Stephen, you and I talk a lot about this pivot to direct to consumer for CPG.
Right.
And oftentimes I think companies may struggle with what's the business case for DTC, because it may not be just from a revenue perspective.
Yep.
And if you think about some of the characteristics or attributes of eco-friendly products, it could be different packaging or a smaller amount of packaging. It could be a smaller carbon footprint from a distribution perspective, et cetera. Some of those attributes are part of a DTC model, right? Or it could be tested in a DTC model. So maybe you want to test different packaging strategies, or maybe you want to test different messaging associated with your products. Those are all things that you can do in real time in a DTC environment, and take those learnings and then, of course, utilize them across a number of other distribution channels, including e-commerce, right? Broadly would say at Amazon or buy online, pick up in store with your retail channel partner. So, I think this trend is one, again, ignore it at your peril. Two, it's another example of why you really, really need to understand your consumer, harness that data, really get that 360-degree view of your consumers to understand these trends. And then three, maybe think of this as a way of justifying, if you will, or another use case or business case around a DTC pivot that gets you more learnings around packaging design and maybe different messaging as it relates to sustainability.
No, that's absolutely true. Sustainability is so important. We only have yet one Earth, and we all need to make sure that we continue to live in this home, in this little planet that we call home. And in order for us to keep our fingers on the pulse, we need the data. We need the customer data to tell us what is the demand coming next. What do we need to do next as a CPG brand? It's important for us to keep the sustainability and profitability in mind.
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you for those insights, David, and thank you for joining us. For more videos like this, please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to turn on the bell for all notifications of our videos. We will be back in 2 weeks with more topics for CPG Bytes. See you soon.